Yes. Happy Wednesday, happy fun day. Welcome to the live. Inner mileage. I'm your host, Dr. Nana Gyesie. Welcome to the live. Welcome. Welcome to the live. Yes. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Welcome. Today we're talking about why narcissists launch smear campaigns. We're going to go into everything that's related to smear campaigns. So if you want to know why narcissists, big and small, launch smear campaigns, you're in the right place, Tan. Come on in. Welcome. Why do narcissists launch smear campaigns? You're in the place to be. Come on in. I am your humble servant, Dr. Nana Gyesie at Inner Mileage Coaching. Come on in. Today we're talking about why narcissists launch smear campaigns. What is a smear campaign? Why do narcissists get upset when you put distance between you and them? Why do bullies get upset when you're minding your own business? So come on in. That's what we're talking about today. Smear campaigns and overcoming smear campaigns. Give thanks for this beautiful day. Welcome in. Tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody. We're about to go in. Tell somebody to tell somebody. If you want to know everything about smear campaigns and how to get ahead of smear campaigns, you're in the place to be. You are in the right place. Come on in. We're going into this step by step. Alex, appreciate you too. Thank you. Hi, Love 87. Come on in. Give thanks for you. I'm so grateful for you. Today we're exposing everything related to smear. You got it, Isabel. You said it. Wingsley, greetings. Come on in. So let me begin because we don't have a lot of time today and I'm going to end a little early. So let me begin. I'm going to walk you through the mechanics of why narcissists launch these smear campaigns. What are these smear campaigns? So first of all, there's actually a moment in the journey of an empath, particularly when you're escaping narcissistic abuse, that really, really shocks the flying monkeys and the narcissist. That is, you leave and you go no contact, right? Give thanks. Blessed love, Diane, Cynthia, Lemonade, 98777. Love that. And everybody in the place to be. You go no contact, or better yet, you go no resonance. You withdraw your energy. And suddenly, the narcissist erupts, whether you know it or not. And they become louder. They become more aggressive, more desperate. Sometimes you see this, sometimes you don't. The rumors start circulating. And in fact, the rumors that start circulating are confessions. But they tell people about themselves, but say it's you. That's the smear campaign. And then you find yourself wondering, why are they so upset if they supposedly never cared about me in the first place? Why are they so upset, Diane, before this eruption? Why are they so upset if they supposedly never cared about me in the first place? And the answer reveals something profound about the nature of narcissistic systems. And it also reveals something profound about your own awakening. Because the narcissist is not reacting to your absence. They are reacting to something far more dangerous to them. And what they are reacting to is your no resonance, not just no contact, but no energetic compatibility. And when an empath reaches this stage, a very predictable phenomenon happens. And this phenomenon is the smear campaign. The smear campaign. Who's never seen this before? The smear campaign. And today we're going to go into why narcissists panic when an empath reaches no resonance, why smear campaigns erupt, and how empaths ultimately can checkmate narcissists and their smear campaigns. So if I'm talking to you, I want to know if I'm talking to you. Write transform in the comment section. Type transform in the comment section. Dawn Marie, I want to know if I'm talking to you before we keep going. Let me know I'm talking to the I. Let me know I'm relating to you, my dear people, my dear family, friends, tribe. If I'm talking to you, type transform in the comment section. Ink of Aaron, thank you. I want to know I'm talking to you. I want to know that I and I is talking to I. Sweet mommy vibes. I want to know I choose myself every day that I'm talking to you. Huncho, Dawn Marie, I want to know the biggest mindset shift. I want to know I'm talking to you. Diane, I want to know I'm talking to you. I want to know I'm talking to you. Wingsley, Isabel, who am I talking to? Mrs. SSG8587, who am I talking to? Brittany B, who am I talking to? Wingsley. All right, so let's keep going because we don't have a lot of time today. So today we're going to go into the science and the spirituality of why this happens. Alex, fourth wheel, and you will get it by the end. And if anything I say connects with you, don't forget to book a free session with me at innermileage.com. Yes, Sean Tunde, respect to you too. So to understand smear campaigns, we must understand resonance, right? And resonance is a concept borrowed from physics, which means when two systems vibrate at compatible frequencies, energy transfers between them. You understand? When two systems vibrate at compatible frequencies, energy vibrates between them. You see, that is how resonance comes into being. You get me? This is the beginning of resonance. So as we go further, you realize that resonance is the amplification of energy between synchronized systems. I choose myself. Never two, Diane. And this applies to all kinds of things, particularly human relationships. And this is confirmed in neuroscience. In fact, research on mirror neurons show that human beings unconsciously synchronize emotional states. It's almost like being at a concert and the singer goes, everybody say, yeah, yeah. And everybody goes, yeah, yeah. Everybody say, hey. That's resonance. But narcissistic relationships involve parasitic resonance. And the narcissist extracts emotional energy. And this energy is called, we all know this, narcissistic supply. And narcissistic supply includes attention, admiration, conflict, fear, submission, and even anger works, because what matters to the narcissist is emotional engagement, emotional enmeshment, emotional entanglement. And as long as you react to the narcissist, the key word here is react with the capital R written in all caps. As long as you react to the narcissist, you resonate with them. And as long as you resonate with the narcissist remains psychologically regulated. Do you see the game? So let me tell you why no contact leading to no resonance is not the real threat. Because many people believe no contact is the ultimate threat to a narcissist. I propose that it is not. Because narcissists are actually very capable of tolerating distance. Narcissists are very capable of tolerating distance. They may simply replace you. They already have somebody in line to replace you. But when you, the empath, here is the key point. Here it is. Here's the pièce de résistance. When you, the empath, reaches the stage where you no longer react emotionally, keyword react, where you no longer defend yourself, where you no longer seek validation, Narcissian, where you no longer try to explain yourself, something extraordinary happens. Something extraordinary happens. And what happens is the narcissistic supply chain collapses. The narcissistic supply chain collapses. In fact, there's a psychologist called Otto Kornberg who's described the narcissist, here it is, as a fragile regulatory system dependent on emotional and external validation. A fragile regulatory system dependent on external validation. So without external emotional input from you, the narcissistic personality experiences emotional instability. The narcissistic personality without your supply experiences emotional dysregulation. What do you think that the smear campaign is? Without your external emotional input from the empath, the narcissist experiences shame collapse. This is supported scientifically. In fact, there are studies that show narcissistic individuals have heightened activity in a part of their brain which is exposed to ego threats. Ego threats. You see? And these regions process social pain, which means the narcissist experiences no resonance, which is removing your energetic vibration from oscillating with them, they experience it as an existential threat. Did you hear what I said? When you get into resonance, the narcissist feels like they're dying. That's the existential threat. So they don't experience rejection, they experience erasure. And erasure for a narcissist is the worst trigger of their trauma. Don't you see the game? Who am I talking to? Oh my word, I'm talking to somebody. Who am I talking to, Mother Father? Am I doing your job, Mother Father? Because if I'm talking to you, type transform in the comment section. Who am I talking to? Pain dispensaries, I love that. Who am I talking to? So let me tell you more about, Cynthia, about the collapse triggered by no resonance. So when an empath, right, when an empath stops resonating with narcissistic systems, several things happen simultaneously. The first is Dawn Marie Solstice's, the first is narcissistic injury. So what is narcissistic injury? Here I'm going to borrow for Sigmund Freud. Freud first described narcissistic injury as a threat to the egoic self-image. This is confirmed in modern research that narcissists are hypersensitive to perceived rejection. That's why they experience a narcissistic injury. Then after the injury, they experience narcissistic rage. Narcissistic rage. And rage appears when the narcissist's grandiose self-image is punctured. Rage appears when the narcissist's grandiose self-image is punctured. So rage attempts to restore psychological dominance. And then after the rage, they experience identity destabilization. Because pathological narcissism relies on external mirroring. And without the external mirroring from you, the empath, or another victim, the narcissist experiences identity fragmentation. So now we're getting to the heart of the talk, which is, why do smear campaigns begin? Lisa, Black Gold Creole, why do smear campaigns begin? Why do smear campaigns happen? Why do smear campaigns begin? Why do they happen? Here it is. Once the narcissist experiences identity destabilization because they cannot control the narrative, they must restore control. And they do this through social narrative engineering. Social narrative engineering or narrative control. And that is exactly what the smear campaign is. And the smear campaign has 3 psychological goals, maybe more, but I'll focus on 3. Buddha Dharma. The first is what we will call reputation preemption. Reputation preemption. Meaning, if they destroy your credibility first, meaning the credibility of the empath, then your story, if you choose to expose them, becomes irrelevant. Lisa? You had a call to share, Lisa. When they cannot destroy you, they will try to destroy your credibility, so your story, the expose, becomes irrelevant. Number 1. Number 2 is to control reality. I'm so glad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You see, the second is reality control, meaning that the narcissist lives their life based on impression management. So smear campaigns attempt to control the social narrative. And the third reason, there's probably more, but I'll only give you 3, is supply replacement. Because by mobilizing allies, the flying monkeys, the narcissist creates new emotional supply sources. You see the game? This is the game they play. So let me tell you the intelligence of smear campaigns, because smear campaigns are actually very, very intelligent. And many people underestimate smear campaigns. But smear campaigns are highly strategic. In fact, if I was to borrow from Dark Triad psychology, it shows that narcissistic and psychopathic personalities possess strong social manipulation intelligence. Hear this again. This is from Dark Triad Psychology. It shows that narcissistic and psychopathic personalities possess strong social manipulation intelligence, meaning they excel at reading vulnerabilities, they excel at building alliances, and they excel at exploiting social hierarchies. And anthropologically, smear campaigns resemble tribal exile rituals. If you've ever seen any primitive tribe that exiles a person, that's the mechanics and the intelligence behind a smear campaign. And Sweet Mommy Vibes, if I can help you specifically, book a free session with me at innermileage.com and we can go into your specific context. Whether we are matched or not doesn't matter. I'll tell you the truth. So across cultures, groups historically expel individuals who threaten group cohesion. And the narcissist recreates this dynamic. So they frame you as crazy, unstable, dangerous, untrustworthy, meaning anything the narcissist says about you in the smear campaign is a confession of who the narcissist is. Don't you see the genius behind this? Do you see the genius behind this? Do you see the genius behind the smear campaign? Do you see the genius behind the smear campaign? And when they do this, it triggers a threat response. So people begin to distance themselves from you to protect their reputation, which is why it's important when you escape from a narcissistic system or relationship, you just have to let go of everybody connected to that, friends, family, the whole thing. But this is not a universal law because your context may vary. But data on smear campaigns shows that in relational aggression and reputational attacks show that smear campaigns are common in abusive dynamics. In fact, there's a 2018 study in the Journal of Interpersonal Violence, a 2018 study in the Journal of which found that reputation damage tactics occurred in over 60% of psychologically abusive relationships. It's probably more like 105% out of 100. And another study on workplace bullying found that tactics used in majority of organizational abuse cases, 70+%, were smear campaigns. And in family systems, smear campaigns often involve triangulation. This is Maury Bowen. So the narcissist recruits others into the conflict, and this spreads the narrative. And the purpose of smear campaigns, why do smear campaigns happen? The purpose of smear campaigns serve a deeper purpose because smear campaigns restore resonance for the narcissist, meaning that if the empath refuses to engage directly, the narcissist attempts to force resonance indirectly through conflict, through you defending yourself, and through you explaining yourself. Which is why the best rule of thumb in a smear campaign is the best way to deal with a smear campaign is keep records, keep evidence, and wait for time. Because the moment you get into conflict, the moment you defend yourself, and the moment you explain yourself, game over. You're back in the energetic field and you're back being resonant to these narcissists. So from a spiritual perspective, even from a Christian perspective, Yeshua, Christ, was subject to a smear campaign. Christ was accused of blasphemy and sedition. In the Buddhist framework, the Buddha faced smear campaigns. For example, there was a monk called Devadatta who attempted to discredit the Buddha publicly, Devadatta. In Hinduism and in many yogic traditions, teachers warn that awakening, when you decide to awaken and you go on the awakening path, it disrupts illusion, Maya, the illusion matrix. And Carl Jung, the Swiss psychotherapist, said that the smear campaign is a process of the projection of the shadow. So when an individual confronts truth, others may project their unconscious untruth onto them. And the them is the empath. So the smear campaign is therefore not merely social, It is an archetypal shadow projection. Dawn Marie, it's okay, Dawn Marie. The only way to know is through experience. So, in esoteric traditions, Hermetic philosophy teaches as within, so without. So, when you withdraw your resonance, the narcissist loses energetic access, and the smear campaigns becomes a form of energetic counterattack. The smear campaign is an energetic counterattack because it attempts to reestablish the psychic cords through social channels. You see? So what does the smear campaign tell us? The smear campaign tells us that you have reached the no resonance threshold and you are no longer feeding the narcissistic system. And the narcissist is attempting to reactivate the field, but paradoxically, the smear campaign also accelerates your awakening if you detach. I choose myself every day because when you detach, it reveals the system and you begin to see who believes the lies, who believes the truth, and who values integrity. And your social network reorganizes as a result. This is what's called spiritual pruning. So in conclusion, how does the empath checkmate the smear campaign? How does the empath checkmate the smear campaign? Well, the narcissist expects three things. They expect you to be defensive, they expect you to explain, and they expect you to counterattack. And any of these are traps that restore resonance for the narcissist. But your checkmate occurs when you, the empath, do something unexpected. And disappear completely. I love that. Nothing. Not a word, fourth wheel. No emotional response. No public defense. No attempt to persuade the people who believe anything they say. And over time, I already said this, over time, something remarkable happens. Because the narcissist must keep escalating the narrative. And anytime the narcissist escalates the narrative, they get exposed. Anytime the narcissist escalates the narrative, they get exposed. And when the narrative becomes extreme, observers start to question them. And this is the beginning of the credibility decay of the narcissist. You see? So what happens is, if we map the empath's journey, smear campaigns happen at a very specific stage. It doesn't happen when you're confused. It doesn't happen when you're trauma bonded. It doesn't necessarily happen when you're awakening, nor does it really happen when you go into no contact. It begins to happen when the narcissist senses that you are beginning to enter no resonance. And that's where the narcissist panics, Black Gold, Dawn Marie. And when the narcissist panics, it's because you, the empath, have crossed the threshold where manipulation no longer works. And the smear campaign is not evidence of your failure. The smear campaign is evidence of your liberation. So when the narcissist realizes you no longer resonate with them, they experience something very profound. Loss of control. Loss of being your spiritual overseer in the spiritual slavery you were under. Loss of identity regulation and loss of supply. And the smear campaign is their final attempt to reestablish energetic dominance. But if you remain in no resonance, something extraordinary happens. If you remain in no resonance, something extraordinary happens. If you remain in no resonance, something extraordinary happens. The system collapses. Not because you fought it, but because you outgrew it and withdrew from it. And in doing so, you step into something more powerful. The spell shatters. You step into something more powerful. And what is more powerful, Alex, is your own frequency, your own integrity, your own sovereignty. Do you see? This is the whole kit and caboodle. And this is how you understand why the smear campaign happens. The smear campaign is really the last stand of fear. So when you understand this, then you realize how gangster you actually are. That's what it means to be an empath, to be spiritually gangster, to be able to see what is not seen and respond accordingly. And the moment you do this, you become unfuckwithable. Check and mate. So the most effective way of dealing with a smear campaign is to do nothing. And the ability to come into the place of doing nothing requires spiritual discipline. And this is what inner mileage is here for, to help you get to a place of no resonance within yourself. So if you're ready to do this for yourself, or you want to know the truth, just book a free session with me at innermileage.com. Innermileage.com. My name is Dr. Nana Gyesie. I'm your humble servant. And I'm going to close on this song. This song is from Protege, titled Where We Come From. This is Protege. Woo! They can't stop us. They can't stop us. They don't want to see us rising. But we are overcomers. So the best way to deal with a smear campaign is to do nothing. Actively do nothing. And the ability to develop the internal fortitude to do nothing is based on your spiritual and your healing practices. And if you want to learn how to do this for yourself, book a free session with me at innermileage.com. You understand? Blessed love. Yeah. Woo! Come on, Protege. Woo! They don't want to see us rising. Woo! Whoa! This is about overcoming. So remember, the most effective way of dealing with a smear campaign is to do nothing. To actively do nothing. And the ability to come to the space where you have the discipline to do nothing requires spiritual strength, somatic healing. And if you're ready and serious to do this, book a free session, innermileage.com. You understand? Inner Mileage. Thank you so much. My name is Dr. Nana Gyesie, your humble servant, your brother, your family, your soul tribe member. We are in this together. Remember, you can't be stopped when you have great spiritual hygiene. Yeah? And so that's what we do. How do you get to the place of no resonance with the smear campaign? No resonance with narcissism. No resonance with narcissists. And no resonance with narcissistic abuse. That's what we day apart. You understand? It's me damasi papa pa min damweshi. Min damweshi wa denche. So you know where to find your brother. Innermileage.com. Look after yourself. Heal yourself. And big up to my family in Tehran. The few people I know over there. Thank you for the emails. You understand? Even though you don't have enough internet, big up. My Iranian massive. You understand? Yeah. So this is what it is. Lisa, you can see. Lisa. We are the watchers. We are the watchers, all right? So thank you so much, yeah? One love. See you again on Friday, yes? One love. Jano. One love.